Hey everybody, welcome to Zebco Academy. On today's segment, we're going to be discussing how to set up your spinning combo set for success. So for starters, we're going to take both ends of the pole and we're going to fit them snugly together. Then you're going to want to look down your eyelets and make sure that they're all centered up. And then after that, we're just going to inspect our rod briefly by flexing it, making sure there's no bends, breaks, splinters, things like that. But next, we're going to line our rod. So you're going to take your end of your line here and we're going to flip over the bail like so, and then we're gonna run this line underneath and then flip the bail back over, and that lines it up like so. And then next we're going to feed it through each of these eyelets. So I like to hold it between my legs here and just start running it straight up. Once we've got our line fed through each and every eyelet, we want to make sure that it's straight, there's no tangles, and it's not twisted as well. You also want to double check your spool and make sure that your line is not tangled around that. Next, we're going to be setting up our lure here. I'm just using a little jig weight. You're just going to feed the line through the little eyepiece. I give it a little bit of slack here. So I like to place my middle finger in the middle and then I just cross the line over. And then all you're going to do is wrap it. I do usually 8 to 10 times. And then once you've wrapped it, you're going to bring it down and back through where that middle finger is at. And once you get it through there, I sometimes do it. You don't have to do it for normal line, but bring it back through one more time for good measure. And then you'll just pull. And I kind of use my thumb to slide it down, pull really tight. And then I always take my line and then grab the jig and pull on it, make sure that it doesn't slide. Because sometimes if you don't pull it all the way, I've pulled it and it slides right off. And you don't want that to happen when you're actually casting. So then I will just take and cut this extra piece of line with the scissors. There you've got it. And I'm just going to throw on a little rage tail coffee crawler here. You're going to take the head and you're going to just slide it, almost squish it all the way down. Just kind of push it all the way through its stomach so it's getting bunched up, because you're going to want them to slide all the way up here where it will fit. Pop the end of the hook out and slide it up like so, without poking yourself. And there you have it. All right, so once you've got your bait on, there's a little hook tab right here, and that's called your hook keeper. So you'll just take your hook, hook it on there, and then that way, you can kind of let a little bit of line out. That way, you're not getting tangled in your eyelets with your other line. Next, we're gonna discuss which hand to reel with. So I personally reel with my left hand, but to change sides, there's a screw on the side and you just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, comes right off, and your reel handle pops right off as well. So we're gonna switch it on over to the other side, just pops right in, like so. We'll take your screw, hold it tight against one another, and screw it back in on this side. So this next piece we're gonna talk about is called your drag, and that's this little knob on top of your spool. So to loosen your drag, you turn it to the left, and when you loosen your drag, this allows your line to be let out very easily. So say you hook onto a fish, he's gonna be able to run with that down the river. So we don't want that, so we're gonna turn it to the right. That's gonna tighten your drag. The problem is if your drag is too tight and you catch onto a big fish, that line has a very great chance of snapping. So we wanna turn it back, find that happy medium where you can let a little bit of line out, but you still have that resistance. So once you have your bait all rigged up, you want to make sure that your hook is kept on a hook keeper or an eyelet. A couple other things you want to keep in mind is don't walk with your rod tip up in the sky. You could snap the rod tip off in a branch, get your line tangled. You also don't want to walk with your rod tip facing the ground. If you trip, you can snap that rod tip off as well. You want to keep it level with your body and just be aware of all your surroundings. So when you're all ready to get started casting, we want to make sure that the tip of the rod to your bait is about a foot and a half of line. Then we're going to take our index finger, hold the line with that, flip our bail over, bring it back, and release our index finger from the line where we want that lure to go. And then you'll flip your bail back over and start reeling. Thanks for watching Zebco Academy. Be sure to check out our other videos online and share your fishing experience with us on our social media platforms at Zebco Fishing.